out on Crowley Lake on 9/11 Thursday morning. I think I'm pretty safe out here for any terrorist attack. There's my two fishing partners are way down there. I don't know if you can see them. There they are. They're not catching nothing. I'm not catching nothing. We're kind of discouraged. Yesterday evening was okay. Caught a few really nice fish. But this morning we're eating the big bagel. So hopefully things will improve here, or we're going to change our location. No, there's a different spot on the lake. So I'm in my boat. It's just beautiful out. Midges, a cloud above the truck. It's miserable here.
Good thing they don't bite.
Good thing they don't bite is right.
Remember that time? Were you there one time when we drove?
Sky crane. Fire. In the park. Randy Richard here in the shop. We have the Lance lathe in the shop. It came with a set of dollies for it, so it made it a little bit easier to push it in, get it in position. It's kind of in position, so we're still reorganizing. And yeah, I'm not going to have it on the dolly for use. I will set it down. It's too high, and I don't like the wheels, so I can get it leveled up good. Has 6 leveling feet, or jack bolts down there, but we have some work to do on it, so I've started on that. So I moved things around so far in the shop a little bit. My big table saw shaper setup, I've moved it over to that way about 32 inches, and I moved it back deeper in the shop another 24 inches, so I have more room. And we cleaned up this whole area behind the lathe. So as I moved that stuff over to the side of the big work table. And then that bench, I'm going to turn around 180 and move it right here where the trash can is, kind of. I'm going to put the closing lathe right in there. So that should fit right behind that roll around box and fit really nice right in there. So that's part of the plan. So this lathe, one thing I had found when I was buying it, the rack and pinion, you know, for the carriage, the pinion gear has a tooth missing on it. I knew that. So I'm working on getting this apart so I can get that gear out to figure out either make one or buy one. So we're working on that. I knew that had to be done. Oops. And I only found one other thing I didn't find that I didn't know about. These change gears here. Now there's a set of 3 gears there, a small one up high. These gears you set up, you'll have to get different ranges on your threading and feeds. Really, the lathe is pretty versatile in that because it does inch and metric. So you do have to do a little bit of gear change. I have all the gears except, well, I don't have one gear. And the one gear here I have, this one, is a 76 tooth gear. And you can see there, I did not catch that during the inspection, but it's missing 2 teeth. So that gear is pretty important for the inch side. Actually, it's used on a lot of this inch and metric. So I need to remove that gear, fix it, or replace it. One or the other. So I have no manuals. So we get it out. And there are 16 DP gears. They're probably 14 and a half. Pressure angles, I'd imagine. So they shouldn't really be too hard to fix, or replace or make a new one. Shouldn't be too bad. But other than that, I've inspected the headstock gearbox. Everything is just perfect in there. I haven't opened the feed rate, change gearbox yet, and I haven't figured out how to open it yet. But I hope to look in there. Maybe drain some oil out, take a look at that. This gearbox down below, oil reservoir, the oil's in primo condition. I haven't opened the top yet on that, but I will. And I'm going to replace all the belts. There's 2 sets of 3 belts each. The motor's down underneath this box here. Other than that, things really do look pretty good shape. This is the electrical control panel on the end. And the lathe, it was being advertised as a 14 by 40. Well, it's more like 14.5 by 55. 54, 55 inches between centers. It's a lot bigger than the 40. Everything else so far are very, very good condition as far as the weighs. They look almost brand new type of thing. I can't feel next to anywhere at all almost. There's only one small area on the lead screw, about 6 inches, that they were obviously doing a lot of threading in that area. So there's about 6 inches there that has a little bit of wear, just a few thousandths as I measured. The rest of the lead screw is basically perfect. So we'll get the top off that carriage. I took apart the cross slide, I should say, yesterday, cleaned and readjusted that. I didn't get the compound apart yet, but I will do that. And cleaned up the taper attachment on the back and got it all mounted back on. Mounts on there pretty slick. This dovetail piece here runs the full length of the bed. So you got a couple of bolt hand screws on the bottom, the clamps. They could clamp tighter. One of them shows a little bit of wear, so I might make the new pieces for that to clamp. But I freed up the taper attachment. Works very free, very nice now. So that's pretty nice how that slides up and down on the ways. That's a little bit different, completely out of the way. Got the tailstock on there. It's a number 3 Morris taper on the tailstock. So, like I said, it also comes with a collet attachment, or a quick change collet setup. 3-jaw chuck, Bison, 10-inch, 3-jaw. Also have a 4-jaw for it. Dials are 1 inch, which is nice. And I did a bunch of other cleanup. I had the tray out, cleaned it really good yesterday. Did a little bit more cleanup on it. Didn't need much, just down in between the ways was kind of crusted from old buildup. Got all that cleaned out. We've made some progress. I made a little bit of progress. I worked about an hour and a half on the closing, and it's looking like a new machine. Got all the big chips out, and you can actually see the paint. So a little bit more on the back here needs to be done, but you can see the difference down here where that's cleaned and that's not cleaned, but it was far worse. And this lathe also has a quick change collet set up. So there's the front, looking way better. If you look at the previous video, see how dark and dingy it was. This is a 6903 model, so it's 14 inch, and it's about 30 something inches, 33, 36, something like that between the centers. But everything works on it, just needs a good cleaning and VFD. And I think we'll look into changing out the variable speed drive, even though this one's been overhauled not too long ago, but it will have problems. They seem to have problems on these things. So we'll look into changing that out to a jack. I guess you have to put a jack shaft in or something. I don't know. I haven't really looked into it. But one of the viewers suggested that, and he runs his that way. And it's supposed to work pretty good. Ralph, the guy who gave me the lathe, suggested I do that too because the variable speed drive is a pain. So we'll probably be looking into doing that. So anyway, so that's coming out pretty good. We'll get a little more done on that out here outside where we can get things dirty. Anyway, back to doing a little more stuff on this. I'm gonna get that one gear out and get both of those broken gears out. Yeah, you can see here. I'll show you the chart. The chart has took a little bit to figure out their meaning, but I figured most of it out. So really all of it. But you have gear setup, gear changes, the A, B's, and C's there, and D's are the gears. You can have a little diagram up there. And then the change handles over here, those two top ones. The third and the bottom one. Between the combination of all those, you get quite a range of thread settings. That's including halves and metrics. You know, as far as the inch goes, half threads and metrics. And feed rates. Feed rates go from 1.1 thousand. Oh, there you go. 1.1 clear up to 42,000. So that's a pretty good range. And I think the inch threads were two threads to 70. So that, I mean, that could be more. Newer lathes have higher thread ranges. So it's good enough for me. I don't see myself having to make 128 TPI. So this is like I said. So this is a lance lathe. Also in European markets or the rest of the world, these were made for North America basically. The Zubal brand, Z-U-B-A-L, for the rest of the world. If anybody out there has any information on one of these lathes, like a manual, which would help, anything, I would appreciate being able to speak with them. I mean, it's nothing that, you know, you can't figure out, but it'd be nice to have some information. That's all. So, that's foot brake. Other than that, I like the lathe. So far, I haven't used it, but I mean, I like everything. I like the controls, the ease of controls, all that good stuff. The speeds are, as far as spindle speeds go, from 50 to 2688, according to the chart. So. Okay, like I said, well, I'm going to put a VFD on this one too, and supposedly it's 3-horse motor. That's what we kind of figured out. So we'll have a VFD on there. Alrighty, so that's the update in the shop. It's a total chaos in the shop, but I'm getting there. I'll make a lot of progress today, and we'll get things done. Thanks for visiting. Sun coming up, Crowley Lake. September 12th. About 35 degrees out. Beautiful out. Pelicans on the water. Right there's one. White pelicans. A couple of guys going out already. Nobody else there except two guys and us right now. right, coffee's perking.